Greetings, YouTube. One of the most requested videos on my channel ever since Christmas Day has been to do a generic 4-star Awakening Gem video, particularly just to answer the question, who's worth a generic Awakening Gem? Keep in mind these are incredibly valuable, even as 4 stars, because they can be used on any champ of any class, unlike the average class Awakening Gem, such as, say, this Tech Awakening Gem, which you can only use on a Tech champion. Now, just as a disclaimer, I do not have all of the 4-star champions. I have most, but not all. And so I'm still waiting, of course, to get the new champions. And so champs like Omega Red or Emma Frost, that I would say undoubtedly you could use your generic Awakening Gem on and not regret it at all, I don't have. So off the top, those 2 champions are included on this list. I also want to say I have not tested out new champions, like, of course, The Thing, or I barely tested out Aegon, but at least I have him as a 4-star. But I don't have Darkhawk or Night Thrasher. I don't have the champion. So the newest champions, even the newer champions that I still don't have, I'm going to do my best to remember some of those. But if I miss one because I don't have them, I apologize. I don't even have a 4-star Sabretooth, and I would say that Sabretooth is in that line of champs that benefit from being awakened, but probably wouldn't use a generic on anyway. So it's with that I now go to my 4-star roster. What I'm going to do is try to be as efficient as possible. I'm trying to get to the point, but also take my time a little bit when it comes to covering all 6 classes in this video, especially if you're one of those intermediate champions that have, intermediate summoners, I should say, that have a bunch of 4-star champions and you're holding on to that Awakening Gem. So we're going to filter out everybody but the 4 stars. We're going to sort them by hero rating, and then we're going to filter them by class as well. And we'll be starting with the science class and going clockwise. And so it is with the science class that we look at a champion class that really has benefited so much in the past year from newer champions. This used to be undoubtedly the worst class. And not only that, but kind of like what the Mystic class, unfortunately, has faced now, because Symbiote Supreme, another 4-star I don't have. Symbiote Supreme is the only Mystic 4-star we've had in over a year. But the science class went a full year without getting anyone either, and that was terrible, just awful. But when we finally got somebody, it was an ultimate game changer, and that is the #1 science champion to use your generic Awakening Gem on, and that's Void. Now, my 4-star Void may only be rank 3, but you better believe that I could easily, and probably should easily, if I was still using my 4 stars exclusively, take him up to rank 5. He is that good. Thankfully, I have a 565 Void, which is why my 4-star has stayed at rank 3. Kind of a side note, I would encourage you to always rank up all your 4 stars to at least rank 3 for arena purposes, because you never know when you're going to need them. Plus, it helps your overall rating a little bit. But yeah, Void, definitely don't ever think twice to use a generic Awakening Gem. Now, besides Void, it kind of gets a little iffy. Yes, the best champs are Quake, who doesn't need an Awakening Gem, Captain America Infinity War, who I definitely would throw one on over Quake, though I've seen some insane Captain America Infinity War gameplay without being awakened, especially on that special 2. Red Hulk definitely benefits, but again, if you don't have Void, save it. Luke Cage as well, especially at the beginning of a fight. But besides that, really it's all about Void. Once you've awakened Void, I suppose you can then concentrate on the other champs in here that are still very good, like a Hulk Ragnarok, for example, or a Red Hulk, or even a MODOK or Luke Cage. But Void is your #1 goal, and really my 3 favorite science champs of Void, Captain America, Infinity War, and Quake I have already covered. We will see how the Thing factors into this, but for now, I cannot accurately do an analysis on him. Now we're going to move to the skill class. Now I'm going to start this video off by saying something that some YouTubers may disagree with me on, and I get why people say Blade doesn't need to be awakened, because Blade's danger sense is not dependent on his awakened ability. But what is something that has saved me more times than I can tell you, and that is the awakened ability for regeneration when below 70% health. My rank 565 5-star Blade at SIG 200 does over 800 tick per second of regeneration below 70% health. I have saved so many units, so many potions, so many revives in both Alliance War, Alliance Quest, and just questing in general with the Awaken ability. So while Blade is still an amazing champion unawakened, he becomes incredible awakened. And so I would highly encourage anyone to consider using a generic awakening gem of the 4-star variety on Blade. And like I said, some people are going to say, Prof, no, you shouldn't. But I disagree, especially if you've got a bunch of Sig Stones. That's going to be a must. Now, if you want to talk about the traditional skill champions that in the past have said should be awakened, Daredevil Classic and Black Widow, both champions. Black Widow just recently introduced in the 5 stars. Daredevil Classic we still don't have. We do have a 6-star, thank God. But those two champions really benefit. Daredevil Classic was one of my MVPs against the Collector. And if you go up to 99 for the Radar Sense, you'll see a literal 100% chance to evade projectiles. Now, of course, this is not affecting the taking into account True Strike and metrics like that. But in general, it is so nice to go up against really crazy projectiles and not have to worry. In fact, remember the first time I brought my OG Daredevil against someone like a Special 2 for Winter Soldier, and it looks just like he was doing a dance and dodging all those bullets. So pretty dang cool. Now, the other skilled champions, of course, that are the best, we're going to scroll all the way down to a new champion that certainly needs an Awakening Gem with the high Sig level, and that is Aegon. You want to carry over as many combos as you can with Aegon, and mine's only at Sig 36, and that's part of the reason why he's at rank 3. But if you have yourself a goal, especially when you get a 5-star Aegon, because I doubt anyone's going to bring any 4-star in something like Labyrinth of Legends, but maybe Realm of Legends, right? You're going to want to utilize the generic Awakening Gem for Aegon. Now, other champions in this skill that might have some consensus, certainly Korg is going to have a lot of people's vote because of defense, and Korg really does need to be awakened to be a great defender. I still hate fighting with him on offense. Killmonger, it's nice to have him awakened, but not as much as Korg. And then here's another champ I love, Hawkeye. Yes, still got that awesome power drain, but Hawkeye's Sig ability does some work, so consider that. But overall, if we're looking at Blade, Korg, Black Widow, OG Daredevil, and Aegon are my choices for the skill class. Now, the mutant class, the ones that come to mind immediately are Archangel at the top. Archangel's awakened ability for that generic really, really helps with the neurotoxin and the ability accuracy reduction. Now, I did use a 5-star generic, proudly, might I add, when I pulled Iceman. Now, of course, I have pulled 5-star Iceman several times since then, which is always the case when using Awakening Gem, right? But besides that, OG Wolverine, not X-23, the man, the guy that I hope will come out as a 5-star sometime this year, fingers crossed, is also highly deserving of a generic Awakening Gem. Domino, not as much. You know, scrolling down and just checking these out. Like I said, I know I don't have Sabretooth as a 4-star, but I'm going to throw in both Emma Frost and Omega Red into this discussion as well. There might be somebody I miss, and as always, the comments help with that. But I'm going to move right along because I don't want to waste any time. Now we're going to go to the Cosmic class, where obviously at the top of the list is Medusa. Medusa is the #1 most benefited champion in this class for Awakening Gems. Now from there is another champion that I wouldn't use a generic on, but certainly I love even more with the Awakened ability, and that's Hyperion, just to have his buffs last longer. And then there's Venom and Carnage. I want to say, my game changed when I got Miss Marvel awakened. Both her and Captain Marvel hit like a tank, and my two best champions were Hulkbuster and Black Bolt before I awakened my Miss Marvel, and then she was a map 5 beast. I mean, I still wish that I had my Captain Marvel 5-star awakened. I've been waiting to awaken her for literally years. But besides that, you know, scrolling down, not too many of these other champions I would say are deserving. I think there are champions like Angela, which are fine. Thor used to be a champion that many people, of course, used a generic on. I haven't used him too much since he got nerfed after patch 12.0, but I'm sure he still benefits pretty good. And then you have champs that'll just save you. If you have Superior Iron Man and he is your only champion, believe it or not, I would say a generic is fine if you're starting out and you've got one for Superior Iron Man, because he will save you so many potions and revives when it comes to his arc overload, especially at a high stake level. Now we're going to go to the Tech class, and I want to say off the top, this is a champion that doesn't need to be awakened, but kind of like Blade, when you have him at Sig 99, you got those 10 poise charges, just gets to be a lot more fun to play, and he's really fun to begin with. So Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, big fan. Iron Man Infinity War, just like Korg for defense, really needs to be awakened, so I understand if you need to use it. The Visions are a no-brainer for a generic awakening gem. They really don't have that much value at all unawakened, but the champ that I truly believe benefits the most from being awakened in this class is none other than Mr. Star-Lord himself. The true champion that changed my entire account was when I awakened my 5-star Star-Lord, and ironically, it was because of the compensation package after the community had their uproar in the patch 12.0, the second compensation package, I should say, because the first compensation package did not include a 5-star awakening gem, but thankfully, my rating overall was enough to get that. I pulled the tech, and the rest is history. Without him, I may still hadn't completed Act 5. It's just that important. So, those are the champs in the tech class. We are moving on to the 6th and final class, the Mystic class. Now, this one in the 4-star variety, Scarlet Witch is another no-brainer. Even after patch 12.0, I still love playing with Scarlet Witch. She's amazing. She used to literally break the game, and I understand why they nerfed her, but I miss pre-12.0 Scarlet Witch. She was a true cheat code in the game. Totally worth the generic. Dr. Voodoo probably is the runner-up choice in this regard, especially at a high SIG level. Dr. Voodoo and Scarlet Witch both command that generic awakening gem. Then you've got some people that, are still fun to play. Certainly Juggernaut becomes a lot better awakened, but you don't need a high SIG level to take advantage of him. Dormammu would be a choice for some people, but even though people say that magic doesn't need to be awakened, kind of like Blade, kind of like Stark Spidey, I loved playing Magic even more when I awakened her, and I know quite a few people who used their 5-star generic awakening gem on Magic as a 5-star. So I'm going to put her in that category. If you use a generic awakening gem on Magic, I don't think you should feel sorry at all or feel bad, because she is just that good of a champion when it comes to power control, and then the Limbo just makes her even better. Morningstar is kind of a bonus champion that I want to mention. She doesn't get the attention that she deserves, and I call her she. I think, is Morningstar a she or a he? I seriously don't. I always get this wrong. Is there something in the ability that might point to this? Any pronouns? Her. Boom. I got it right. So those of you who still tell me that it's a he, you're wrong. Morningstar's weapon grants her a link to her opponent's soul. Okay. I told myself I would start calling Morningstar correctly and using her, and here I go. So yes, maybe a percentage of the community still won't, but that's your problem. So there you have it. I covered a lot of champs in a short amount of time, but that's always my goal on this channel. I hope that this helps, especially the people who really don't have any good 5-stars right now. Keep in mind, as I said in past videos this week, that I would rather have an amazing 4-star champion at rank 5 high SIG like a Scarlet Witch than I would like a decent 5-star champion to rank 3 unawakened. And I would rather have like a Dr. Voodoo that with awakened high SIG as a 4-star than I would a Dr. Voodoo even at like rank 4 that's unawakened. It just, when the champions need that generic awakening gem, the stars kind of go out the window, because the signature level, even though the attack and the health are worse as a 4-star than a 5-star, still rule out the decision to rank up, at least in my book. So there you have it, YouTube. I hope that helps everybody who has questions on this. I surely didn't have time to cover everybody, so if there's somebody you feel like is an honorable mention or somebody I just flat out missed, please comment below and let me know. And as always, thank you for supporting my Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube channel.